Yeah. This is Power Trick.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jan and Vader.
We got plenty to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Woo! This week is gonna be really interesting. First off, we just seen Nintendo have their little miniature show.
Yeah, we rewatched the Nintendo Direct a little bit just to get a refresher because we had Sony State of Play,
And
then we
got
had Xboxes, and
now
we had Nintendo Directs
and we
not
got
too long
Nintendo
ago.
Direct. Not only that, we also gonna talk about Street Fighter 6 4 characters for Season 2.
Yes, I'm so happy.
We also gonna talk about should they just drop the Blade movie.
Yes. We wasn't able to look up too much on that, but definitely going to talk about it. And then we got to talk about the wonderful disaster that is Disney and Star Wars.
And I owe an apology for that. But without further ado, let's get started. To me, it's hard between Xbox and Nintendo, because both of them put out bangers.
Yeah.
Nintendo shocked the hell. Like, there are 3 shockers that Nintendo did. One was playing as Zelda, but the one that made me nearly fell off of my bed was the fact that we got a Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Yeah.
That shocked not only me, it shocked a bunch of people who are in the fighting game community.
Yes.
Because of the fact that the Switch can now have Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Then,
well, here's the thing. The how can I put this? The Wii probably could have ran Marvel vs. Like all the ones based off of PlayStation, but the problem was licensing. So the fact that the last time Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was able to be played was if you bought that $600 arcade cabinet that they had came out with, and before that, to play the real version was technically the arcade.
yes,
but the most console friendly one was Dreamcast.
Yep.
So
The fact that they add that, and not only the collection at Marvel vs. Capcom 2, they added Marvel vs. Street Fighter. They added
they added 6 fighting games and the Punisher.
And the Punisher.
So 7
beat
games.
'em up.
But let me correct myself. The Xbox Live community, when it comes down to Marvel 2, actually is keeping it alive strong right now. And I'm gonna give a shout out to one particular fighting gamer with that because I love watching his content. Rom Neto. He is a Marvel 2 OG, and he still plays and everything else, and he still has a lot of them playing it. So technically, currently, the best version is the Xbox Live version of Marvel 2, not Fightcade.
Really?
Yeah, so I do have to correct myself on that
But
one.
before I continue on the Nintendo rant, I feel bad for Microsoft owners because the collection is not coming on Xbox. Because it later on after Nintendo did their thing, which was a banger, it's later coming out on PlayStation and later coming out PC. But when I didn't see nothing on Xbox, I'm just like, what the heck? I'm like, what? I'm like, why?
That is a interrogation for Phil Spencer.
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like, because as you said, it was the best one on Xbox Live, but yet it's not coming for Xbox.
Contractual issues. Who
That's all.
knows?
Like that was to me that was a slap in the face to all the Xbox owners because I'm like, damn.
Well, let's be totally honest. If you're an Xbox owner, you most likely have a PC.
Yes.
So you won't be missing out on much. You'll just be converted to Master Race sooner than later. That's all it is. But out of the 3 major companies that make consoles and games, how do you rank them?
It's still hard to say between Xbox and Nintendo. I would, because Xbox had a bunch of bangers as well. I think they have more bangers than I'll probably say. I would.
That depends on the genre you like, but I feel where you're going. I feel where you're going with that.
Yeah, it's like because it's still. I'll probably say number 1 Xbox.
Okay.
Number 2 Nintendo, and place I don't know what the heck was that. Because I'm not gonna lie, Nintendo was close. It was real close, especially with the long anticipated game, Metroid Prime 4, which everybody been clamoring when are we gonna get it, because we got Metroid Dread instead, and everybody's like, we're satisfied, but everybody want Metroid Prime 4. Now we got it, one of the highly anticipated games. I'm gonna go far to say that game will either be nominated for most anticipated for this year's Game Award show.
Okay.
Or to the point where I might even say it could be a Game of the Year nominee. I could probably point that to say it's going to be either most anticipated for next year or Game of the Year nominee. It's most likely it's going to be most anticipated. It's going to be nominated for it. I don't think it's going to win it. I don't know, because there's a bunch of other games that I have to look into.
There's a lot of games to look at. We already know what might get pushed to the wayside as the games come out, but there's way too many games to actually tell. Mine is actually very similar to yours. PlayStation comes in 3rd place or forever last place with that state of play.
Mm-hmm. We don't want to talk about it.
And at first, especially after listening to you, I actually had it as Xbox, Nintendo, but because I am a big fighting game head, I'm putting Nintendo first.
You're putting Nintendo at number 1?
Only because of Marvel.
Oh, because of Marvel.
Because now here's the thing, right? That one game that was created based off of some of the people that came from the Square Enix studio. That game looked fire. They bring it back, Romance Saga. I like RPGs and fighting games were my first 2 loves. So the fact that those 2 things are coming out, like there's a lot that Nintendo actually showed, but Xbox showed a lot of stuff too. Mm-hmm. But I'm not missing out if it's coming on Steam. So
you got a point.
You know, so the biggest one that I was actually interested in, because I only played Xbox for exclusives. The biggest one for me is going to be Gears of War, and they're making it a prequel or prologue.
Yeah, they're making
so
it a prequel.
It's like, okay, I got something to look forward to, but I'm technically 2 games behind. So, you know, now I have a reason to maybe purchase an Xbox.
But what also surprised me is that Maximilian Dool said this is the best Direct ever. I'm like, that's a debate right there.
Wait. It's the same reason why I made Nintendo number 1.
Because Maximilian Dool, when he saw Marvel vs. Capcom 2, he said, I'm going to take you for... He went crazy, including myself. Yeah, I went crazy because I'm like...
I couldn't go crazy. I was at work when I seen it.
And the fact that it doesn't look like it's ported, it looks like...
But here's the thing. It just goes to show you how big of a fighting game fan and enthusiast Maximilian Dool is, because he was live on his stream. It's a Nintendo Direct, and he literally said, "Screw Nintendo Direct." He started looking up stuff on Marvel, on the collection, and he even had to apologize to the fans that wanted to watch the Nintendo Direct with him. So it just goes to show you. But no, like, I mean, six of the best beloved fighting games to ever be made. And here's the funny thing. I finally get to have my favorite debate when it comes down to fighting games, when it's always talked about remakes. Fighting games are always remakes, especially when it came down to the Versus series, because every game was different.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite still is Marvel 3, and you did ask me the question off stream or off the recording, like, if they added Marvel 3 to it, would you get it? It's kind of like, no need to. I have Marvel 3 and everything possible, even PS Vita. But the biggest thing is that it says it's a series of collections.
Yeah.
So who's to say now, okay, we got the Marvel vs. Capcom one that's coming from Capcom. What if we get like a CVS2 one now? You get CVS, what is it, SVC Chaos, you get CVS, SNK 1, or, you know, SNK vs. Capcom 1 and 2, and then, I don't know, some other beat 'em ups or something like that, or shooters or whatever. Like, I'm here for it.
But I'd say this on like Xbox and Nintendo, they put up a banger of a show on both ends of the
Here's a question for you. And maybe y'all can chime in too. Definitely put it in the comment box. Sony was first, but why they fell off?
Not a lot of good games on that thing. Besides the Astro Bot, which I was interested in,
and that was the very last one.
They didn't put up.
They had others. I just can't. They're not memorable.
No. and the fact that Street Fighter was shown not even on the PlayStation, it was shown on Summer Game Fest.
Yes, which is another thing we need to talk about.
Which is like, what in the world? And the make matters worse. Another game we're gonna talk about later on, Metal Gear, which was most of the time was on PlayStation. It was not on the PlayStation. It was on the Xbox.
Yeah. Let's remember, Phil Spencer did say that he's trying to make all games on all consoles. Like Xbox exclusive games are literally going on Steam and PlayStation, which I was always scared about because for the longest time it was like, yo, if y'all flagship games go on these other titles or on these other consoles, y'all lost the war completely. But Phil Spencer had already said a while back that, you know, there is no war no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they gave up on it when they made the Game Pass. And I can't lie, I don't know how you generate money based off of that. What is it, $15, or did they increase it to $18 or something?
I thought it was like for 6 months it's like $60 for 6 months.
Oh, all I remember is they said the Game Pass was like $15 a month or something like that. I didn't know they had subscriptions. If they go the subscription route, that's bad. Because remember, PlayStation did that at first. They had a good thing going, and then all of a sudden they went, "Oh, we're gonna copy Netflix." but anyways, that's a different thing. But the fact that you pay 15, 18, whatever dollars a month, every game that's a first party game to third party game is now to your disposal on launch. Things that cost $70, you've only paid $15. Even though it's $15 a month, you got to think about all those games that spreads that dollar across. Instead of that $70 one time for that game to those developers, it's how long does it take? 1530, that's 60, 75. It takes 5 months for you to actually pay for a AAA game, or quadruple because of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. The math's not mathing with me when it comes down to that.
And it's just the fact that I was like, Sony just like went. I'll never forget the time that people were, when they was watching it, a lot of people just logged off. I was like watching somebody's on State of Play. Somebody literally just says, "Man, he just cut the stream off." I'm just like, he literally cut the. I'm like, cause it was so bad that he didn't even want to watch it no more.
Dang.
I'm just like, and then when Xbox came on, I watched it through him. He was all getting happy. He's like, so many games and so many this. Is like, yes. And then Nintendo, Maximilian Dude, he here's the crazier part. Maximilian Dude, he put up the Nintendo Direct watch later on. He immediately put the Marvel vs. Capcom reaction way beforehand.
Yep.
Cause he couldn't believe it, and he kept saying, "Go back." He's like, "Go back." He's like, "I don't want you to go forward." He was like, "Go back." Just started to laugh. He just said, "Go back."
Yep.
But for Nintendo, besides the 3 games that was mentioned, the other games that I'm interested in was that Mio game. That
yes.
I was like, I saw the art style. I'm just like, it got me intrigued. I'm like, I am very curious on the Mio game, the Fantasian game. That's basically one of the composers is Nobuo Uematsu, who is like one of the best.
That's what I'm talking about. The one from Square Enix.
Yeah, that one and Mio. Those two, I'm like, I am curious on us. Like, we already know about Mario Luigi. We already know that RPG. We already know about that.
Now the battle system for Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Yeah.
Which sounds like they just took something from Full Metal Alchemist. That actually, the battle system actually intrigued me.
It looked good.
It intrigued me.
It looked good.
But I mean, here's the thing. I just thought about it. Does Steam already have a game show? Or I know they have a PC game show that normally happens this year too.
Yeah, they do.
You know, I don't even want to get into that one because that would take even longer. But out of some of the other things that we were talking about as far as topics, let's segue into the one that you already mentioned. SGF, is it the new E3?
You might as well say it is the new E3 because
Now, if we're gonna add an award show of any kind or, you know, gaming show, I actually put SGF over all three of them. Well, we already know PlayStation's at the bottom.
Yeah, we already know that.
But SGF over Nintendo, Xbox, because it gets to just show you everything, and it did not disappoint.
I agree with that. And if speaking of awards, if they were giving like awards to say like best like moment of each one, I would say most people would say best moment of Nintendo will probably be Marvel vs. Capcom. Most likely, it would be either Marvel vs. Capcom or Metro Prime 4 would be like the best moment of Nintendo. Xbox would be like a plethora of games, and Sony.
Yeah, I give it to the Gears of Fable.
Gears of Fable, I would say that too. But Sony, they'll just say Astrobot.
Oh, that's bad. That means there's no major titles to think of that PlayStation's coming up. Wait, was that Days Human game? Was that SGF or was that PlayStation?
I think that was SGF.
Ah, crap. Okay, Sony, I'm sorry. You only got Astrobots or Astro Boys, whatever it is. But yeah,
it was the like overall summer game fest. I'm like, I don't know where it's located. I need to do some research because I told Steve, I said we never went to E3, which was our biggest heartbreak. But I said if there's ever a summer game fest and they tell us where it is, and if it's live, we could try to go to.
You're gonna lose your job if you hear Jeff Keighley is bringing his award show down to Florida.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. We do have other topics though. So Street Fighter 6 had a major update that allows a lot more sauce to happen in the game between all the current characters. Then we have the Akuma that has been breaking the internet for the most part. And then the trailer of all trailers for Season 2 that nobody expected. Because I was dumbfounded.
Me too.
So, where you want to start with that? Have you played Street Fighter 6 recently?
Yeah, I have. And let's just say, I'm gonna just say, as a huge Street Fighter fan, I'm gonna make a joke about this. Street Fighter, they want all the smoke from every single fighting game company. People's like, why you say that? I was like, they want all the smoke from SNK. They want the smoke from Marvel. They want the smoke from Smash. They want the smoke from Tekken. They want the smoke from everybody. Power Rangers. They want the smoke.
How?
I'm like, I was like, Street Fighter, Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Like I said, Street Fighter want the smoke from every freaking company.
What I think
except
it
for
is
Mortal Kombat.
I think. Nah, they're killing themselves. I'm sorry, they're cannibalizing themselves. Capcom is literally trying to lay the law, saying we were the best back then. We fell off a little bit, but we're claiming the throne, and we're making sure it's high enough to where nobody else takes it. That's what this feels like.
Like what I said, Capcom want the smoke from everybody. Like all those games that I've been saying, all the crossovers that I've been mentioning, they want the smoke from everybody. They was like, okay. That's what we did. Capcom versus SNK 2. I said they brought Terry. You might as well say this is Capcom versus SNK
Well,
kinda.
Going into that, I do believe that. A lot of people are speculating that a new CVS 2 is on the horizon, or CVS 3 is on the horizon, because it's no surprise because of the information that's came out. The people that made Street Fighter 5 is the same people that made Street Fighter 6. Yep. They're also really good friends with the developers of the most recent King of Fighters. So with a collab like this, because one person actually mentioned, okay, are we getting the Terry from the new Fatal Fury? No. We're getting a Terry that hopefully keeps its own play style and doesn't necessarily play like Street Fighter 6, but still uses the system. But then we also got Mai. Terry and Mai are literally the Ryu and Chun-Li of SNK. So with those two, depending on how their fighting system is, if the fighting system is you get to keep your style that somewhat breaks the mode of the game but still gets to utilize the system, okay, it's a collab. And in a spectacular fashion. But I think this would be a test. Now the funny thing is Bison was also another one that was mentioned, shocking. And he's coming out first. Very soon. And then the last one, which is an oddball because apparently there's a 50-50 split. Elena, the bane of Street Fighter 4's existence. Not Third Strike, but Street Fighter 4's, because she is the longest running fight in the world. Play neutral, beat you up. Oh, look, I healed for a decent amount of life. Oh, I keep running away, tapping you a little bit just to get some, more meter to heal again. But with the new system, I don't think that the healing is going to be as egregious, because even though this game is way more offensive, Elena's tall. I'm curious. She's tall, thin, but muscular. I'm wondering where she's at in the height realm, because is she like around Manon? I think Manon and Marissa are the two tallest females, right? So, like, how tall is she? You already know she's going to be dwarfing Kimberly.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious on that. I'm even curious on what, because she always used to do that dance in Third Strike and in Street Fighter 4. So what her posing is going to be now. They updated her fashion sense too and everything else. I'm very curious on how she's going to move. Like, I'm curious on the moveset, because her moveset was somewhat dry to a lot of people because it's just a very simplistic game style. Execute, do combo, don't even worry about swag, build the meter, heal. So, but Mai Shiranui and Terry Bogard are two people that I'm really excited about, because I was looking at Terry's move list from a bunch of different games that he had. He's always had Burn Knuckle. His power wave actually changed quite a bit. It used to be two different speeds. It was a wave on the ground. Then it ended up being an actual wave with the heavy one that I did like knockback or knockdown or something like that. Then you have Power Dunk, you have Crack Shoot, you have Rise and Tackle. Supers was always Power Geyser, Triple Power Geyser, and of course Buster Wolf. And then he had another one which was like I think there's like a Shining Geyser, where it's like, kind of like a Power Dunk into like a Power Geyser. So he's had quite a few. And then Mai, unfortunately I'm gonna butcher the names, but we already know she has Dilly Ninja Beast, which is her little cartwheel forward, and she could then she had her one off the air where she kind of like spins and dives down.
Yeah.
She has her Flame Pillar, which was one of her newer moves that had, came about. She had her fans that she threw, and then she had her flaming tailspin that she did also. Super Deadly Ninja Bees. Then her main, I guess, critical art was kind of like the Japan #1.
Yeah.
Or, Mai Itoichi, as she called it, or whatever else. She actually didn't have a lot of supers.
She did. I think she only had like from what I remember from CVS.
OG.
She only had 2.
Yeah, OG. She had like 2, but she had way more special moves. But if you update it into the game she has now, I believe she has 3 or 4. If you're counting Super Deadly Ninja Bees in the air, also, it's maybe 3 or 4. But then Bison.
But Bison, man, oh man.
Now, do you like the fact that they gave this man amnesia, which is like one of the biggest tropes in gaming, period?
Well, after what happened to him in Street Fighter V, after he was defeated by Ryu, and then we see him like disintegrated and whatnot, and then all of a sudden that will probably make sense right there, because we don't know what the heck happened to him in 3.
Yeah, but I mean the cheesy line of, "Oh, in Bison, why you keep calling me that? Nice name though, I'll take it." Like
something probably happened. We gotta figure that out. But gameplay wise, he's still
definitely technical.
Yes, he's still fast as heck too.
He looks like he has the fastest drive rush in the game.
Yes, and the longest reach of the. I saw him like from one end to the other. He reached so far. I'm just like, yo. And people still say Bison on the horse. I'm like, people say, is the horse gameplay? I said, man, don't even try it. I'm like,
horse simulator.
I'm like,
Kentucky Derby.
I'm like, don't even try it.
You want to know what's the funny thing? I forgot about the Street Fighter 2 movie that came out when I heard about, it's a reference to this. Mm-hmm. And rest in peace to the man. I forgot his name, but he did pass a while back, but he did pass, the one that played Bison. But I actually, when I seen the horse, since it was a black horse, I was actually thinking Rao from Hokuto no Ken, because Rao actually rode on this jacked, like, black stallion horse. So it was very interesting to actually see that. And of course he does it like, look, man, no hands. Okay, but the next thing is about CEO. You actually know more about this, but if you want to let the audience know.
Well, according to Cap, Bison's about to come out in June 26th, and CEO is 2 days after Bison comes out. And you can look on Event House, and it will be on screen that the founder of CEO says that Bison,
Alex Jabali,
he announced that Bison will not be allowed to be playable in tournaments.
Which makes sense.
Which I'm like, I completely understand, because he literally just came out. People will not have time to prepare.
So here's the reason why, right? And it makes sense. Combo Breaker allowed Akuma, but it was literally like a week or so away.
Like about a week.
And they literally said, hey, the day before, we're going to set up as much and get as much information from Capcom as possible so that everybody can try them out and learn if they want to just go ahead and waste their money that they put in the tournament to try to play. And then, of course, most people are probably going to play them in casuals or whatever else.
Yeah.
But there's more time than 2 days. Bison in 2 days and this is from Friday? 2 days from Friday?
Yeah.
Not happening. Not happening.
Not happening. Evo, definitely.
Yeah.
But CEO, not gonna happen. And to me, Jabali, he did a very smart move by saying, because it wouldn't be fair that, let's say, if a very good Bison player shows up and nobody knows.
But there can't be a good Bison player.
In other 2 days, I'm like, people's like, you'd be surprised. There are people who will literally just
they'll lab them out. But the problem is labbing out, and this is just my tournament brain thinking. When you play a game like Street Fighter 6, all fighting games is like a chess match. You don't know the matchup between any of the characters except for what you play on in PC, or unless the last 2 days you just been grinding heavy, but you gotta wash, you gotta sleep, you gotta work, you gotta prep for the tournament. You don't got that much time. You don't. So, but moving on from that, we're gonna talk about the controversial one for a moment. I know me and you did a lot of research on this one. Star Wars Acolytes. So, I'm gonna give some context in my particular situation because I'm shocked, but I'm not as shocked about the whole situation. I remember watching a YouTube video that was talking about rumors that some of the developers that were part of Star Wars Acolytes, period, were saying that they established the series in the first 2 episodes. You're going to hate episodes 3 on. Episode 3 is going to destroy the series. This is before the first 2 episodes even came out. The first 2 episodes comes up, everybody is looking at it, it's just like, okay, it's alright or whatever else, because Metacritic and everything else didn't have bad scores. Then episode 3 comes out. And in marvelous fashion destroys everything that's Star Wars. And to be fair, because did we talk about it a little bit?
Not really.
To be fair, I've never been a person that cared whether, you're gay or whatever else. I really don't like DEI garbage because when you force diversity, you're actually not making things diverse, and not everything needs to be diverse depending on the given scene or scenario. But I have a big question I need to ask. Star Wars. George Lucas's baby, love child, everything. Star Wars is a whole universe, multiple universes. You could have taken any portion of Star Wars that wasn't connected to the main continuity, just take that little subsection and just make Acolytes. Nobody is saying that, a female Jedi or a male Sith can't be born and be bigger than the people that's part of the main continuity. But at the end of the day, George Lucas had a vision. He made the universe. The universe was already multicultural because it's all aliens for the most part and humanoids. And you end up just making this pandering based off of modern day society. And let's get on to that for a second, shall we? Why is the terms modern day society or modern day culture in any way, shape, or form being talked about with Star Wars? It literally, like in the scrolling text, it says in a galaxy far, far away. Can we even travel to galaxies? If we can't even go the speed of light or whatever else, or have warp drives or hyperdrives, then this is not relatable in no sense of the word. So when you hear dumb terms like the Force is female and all this other stuff, you're pandering and you are causing a issue for all fans. Most fans of most things nerd culture is by a vast margin, and I mean a drastically vast margin, male. Star Wars ain't about sex sales, it's not marketing, it is straight fantasy and nerds. You are forcing everything to be female, meaning you are trying to exclude males in every capacity. The last good, and I do mean the last good series, was Mandalorian and Andor. And it's completely different landscape, scene, just temperament and vibe with Acolytes. Why do that? Even George Lucas in most recent interviews have talked about how they have screwed up Star Wars. It's not even Star Wars anymore. Like, I'll say this once, and I'm only going to say it once. Since it's recorded, you can rewind it as much as you want, because there is no taking out of context. You take my words for what they are. If you want to make something based off of diversity or whatever else, you come up with your own stuff. Everything that has been established for years to come, any form of modern day culture or woke culture that's being brought into it, you have destroyed every conceivable thing that is already established. Why? Why can't you just have your piece of the puzzle? Just your piece of the pie. Just go into that part of the Star Wars space, make the Acolytes, and don't try to dump on what's already been written. Wonder Woman, there's a trans female in Themyscira. She's not Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is Diane. Forever will be until DC chooses to change the guard. Warhammer 40K. Instead of just adding something to the story to make some form of female custodian, maybe they start genetically tempering with it because they found a way to do it, or technology or some type of asteroid. You have screwed over multiple fans of Warhammer by changing the lore, and unfortunately you pandered or was forced by whatever DEI stuff, and now you've rewritten the origin. How do you just rewrite an origin? That makes no sense. Star Wars was already diverse because you had humanoids and you had aliens. You had humanoids having babies with aliens or whatever else. Like, so why is it now all of a sudden there's gender involved? It just makes no sense. Stop destroying established fan bases, established stories that were great. Everything that y'all are doing does not work, and you know the reason why? And I'll say the reason why. You don't even like your own stuff. You liked Star Wars from back in the day. You liked Marvel from back in the day. You liked Warhammer from back in the day. You liked it because it was established. Y'all are not taking enough time and effort to see what you're screwing up, not only from a storyline and a continuity standpoint, but just from a fan base and a lineage. I forgot, what is it, Gamers Workshop is Warhammer? I want you to realize this. If you have 1 million fans and 95% of them are whatever diversity group, but they pretty much loved and supported you with the lore and everything that you did, and the 5% is whatever woke crowd or LGBTQ crowd or whatever else. Unless you're just that hard of a diehard fan and you're just going to try to suck it up and just deal with it, you are losing a major player base, meaning you're losing major funding. How are you going to get that back? Because the one thing that I've noticed is a lot of these groups will preach out or yell in the crowd something, and then everybody will go with it, and then there will never be no support. So I don't understand what's the point in the pandering. Capcom and Square Enix has already told DEI or Sweet Baby to kick rocks because they're trying to charge $7 million to force themselves into trying to make worser games. Like, come on, man, like, just do better. I don't care if you want to make the Acolytes, but by all things righteous, do not try to change the storyline and the lore. Just add to it by adding a subsection. Star Wars Rogue One was a side story, but that's the last great movie that came out. Why? Because everything started changing from there. Mandalorian was great, side story. Andor is great, side story. Is it connected to the Star Wars universe? Yes. Is it affected? Yes. But they do not move out of their lane. So why is it that Acolytes has to, not a side story, put themselves in the forefront and try to screw everything? There's always going to be a balance in life, and just like in that fantasy, There's a reason why there's the force and the darkness or whatever else. There's always going to be good and evil. Nobody is that righteous. Nobody. You're going to have people on the extremes on both sides, and then you're going to have people that possibly have a balance. I have yet to see anybody that balances the dark powers of the Sith and the light side of the force with the Jedi. Not yet. You could have possibly did that with Acolytes on a side story instead of making it seem like Anakin wasn't worth a damn and Luke Skywalker and everybody else. I'm sorry, like, I had to vent that out because to me it's the dumbest thing in the world, and I just been getting tired of it because everything that I hold dear that is older and that's established is just being screwed over in every way possible because they want to try to add some modern take to it. If you want to make a modern take, then you make something completely your own and see if it actually even works. Because Star Wars has been dying out God knows how long. And we talked about this, I think, on 1 or 2 podcasts already. Disney hates men. Cool. Cool. Hate us all you want. Eventually it's going to get to the point to where the support isn't going to be coming no more. The fact that you're trying to make Star Wars damn near all female, let's see if the support comes. Like, you can go, man. I'll be ready for the next topic. But you tell me what you're going to tell me.
Star Wars Acolyte. I owe a few shows an apology. Besides Inhumans, I already owe them apology enough. This movie, I'm gonna owe another apology. I owe Blade Trinity an apology. Dragon Ball Evolution, I owe you another apology again.
Yeah. What about Madam Web?
Madam Web is, I don't think I owe, no. I don't owe them an apology. What the hell is going on? And I'ma just say this. I posted this on Facebook and a lot of people laughed at it. Acolyte is Star Wars on the CW. I'ma flat out just say it. Acolyte is Star Wars on the CW. But and to make matters, the CW wouldn't even write this bad. CW shows will not even write this bad because CW had Smallville, CW had Flash, CW had Arrow, which finished as Flash is about to come to an end. It had some bad moments. I'll give it like Birds of Prey and stuff like that. But
Birds of Prey wasn't even bad. At the end of the day,
but
there's no series that's incomplete. 3 episodes in, that's this big of a flop.
Well, Velma will tell you. Velma will tell you hold my beer. But anyway, I would just say this. Kathleen needs to be fired today. Not now. I mean, not an hour later. Not 5 minutes later. Right this second, she needs to be fired now.
You don't want her to finish doing the trash?
Hell no. She been going to shit. She's saying that it's gonna be she wants to make it hate men. Good. Let's just see what happens.
No. Let's say what the interviewer said. The gayest Star Wars ever.
And to the point, I'm gonna give a shout out to Jeremy Johns, who's one of my favorite movie reviews. I feel bad for the dude because he's gonna be drinking alcohol every single damn episode.
Might as well be lighter fluid.
He might as well that too. His reviews are more entertaining than the damn show.
Oh wow.
His reviews are 10 times more entertaining than the show. Mandalorian, awesome. Andor, awesome. Star Wars Visions, great.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars Visions, great. Ahsoka, it had some nitpick. It wasn't bad, but it had some good moments when she fought against Anakin, when she fought against Darth Maul. Those were dope. She has some. That show has some good moments. But this, I have no idea. I'm gonna just flat out say it made She-Hulk an Oscar nominee. It made She-Hulk and the girl Miss Marvel an Oscar nominee.
Well,
it made it look like that.
Wait. Miss Marvel TV show or Miss Marvel movie?
The TV show. It made it
Miss
look like
Marvel wasn't bad. She-Hulk was just a feature series. It shouldn't even be called She-Hulk. It should be called Jenny and the Incredible Features. Like you might as well give She-Hulk an Oscar nominee.
It made him give him an Oscar nominee. That's how bad
wait.
this is.
People put She-Hulk and Madam Web almost in the same thing. So, you know what? Let me ask you another question. Is Acolytes worse than Morbius? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. Damn.
I'm gonna go even further. Acolytes made Blade Trinity a 5-star movie. I'm gonna go even further with that. That's how bad this thing is going up. Cause they say, oh, they're gonna do lesbian this. They're gonna do. If you're gonna do that something, at least continue the lore. They say they're gonna make the Force a female. The Force has no gender. It's a freaking entity. And nobody has ever seen it. No, nothing.
No. Didn't they add people now to it? The dark side of the Force is a guy. The light side was a girl. And then they had like the father of who created the two forces, like this old man. Like literally, I was looking at reviews and they showed that like apparently there is like people that's connected to that, and you become a representative of it. And apparently, like I think it's Ahsoka's supposed to be next in line or something like that for being one of the candidates for it. They already started talking about that, or it could have been speculation, but they already established that there's the Force comes from. But yeah, they've already established that the Force comes, the light side of the Force comes from a female, and the dark side of the Force comes from a male. At least they kept the creator as an old man.
If people say, would you want to watch the next episode of Acolyte? I'd rather subscribe to somebody's OnlyFans.
Oh! Damn! That's a double shot!
This is just... I just want to move on from that, because this was...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Those are the things I want to apologize for. I'm like...
The fact that this irritates you so bad to where you don't even want to discuss it, that's bad. So, Miss Kennedy, like I said before, I don't care if you make the Acolytes. I really don't. But learn from past mistakes. That's the reason why you should never take out wars and the bad side in history. You are making this with jaded and tinted glasses, and you should have been looking at everything else that has came before you that has been a flop when it comes down to this. Do not change the lore of established stuff. That is good. It's not like Star Wars was in a bad place. And you even had the creator say that this isn't my Star Wars anymore. And there's plenty of things on YouTube right now that's literally talking about George Lucas talking about it and everything else. He made his love child. He wanted to come back. Y'all ain't trying to give him a chance. You and Disney are giving him heat and everything for it. But honestly, y'all not even giving him creative rights or leadership over anything to possibly make it better. They already said that episode 3 dropped to like 13%.
Yes.
On Metacritic and stuff like that. It might be even lower by this point. But
and yet Rotten Tomatoes, who like to suck, the wokes did put it on 86%, but the audience put it on 13%. IMDb, they gave it a 2.7, I believe, which is
that's still a little too high in my opinion from them.
Which is
and that's out of 5?
Out of 10.
Oh shit! Oh, never mind. But no, but Miss Kennedy, do me a favor. He wants you fired. I just want you out of Marvel, Star Wars. I just want you out of anything dealing with production. If you're going to continue to destroy the legacy, you can easily cancel this show, move the budget of everything you're doing over to a subsection of Star Wars and just create it from there. If you can create your own bubble within the Star Wars universe, do all the pandering and woke nonsense you want, and it actually does good from your own group of fans and supporters, then by all means it works. And then slowly it can get implemented in, but it should not screw up or change anything from the storyline. The problem is that you've already done it. Fans don't want you there, and they want everything to just burn down. But part and parcel to that is Disney, because I don't know what man hurt. You know what? You know how they always say, like, when a man is angry, and they say in a very sarcastic tone, "Oh, who hurt you?"
Mm-hmm.
I would have to ask Kathleen Kennedy and Disney the same thing. Granted, you're gay, so you don't want men to begin with, or lesbian, to be politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
But, who hurt you to where you're trying to make everything female? Survivor, man versus woman, has already shown that you have to have a balance between the two. A balance. Men and women are equal. You're not superior in anything. You're not smarter in anything. You're equal. And that's because that's what you want. Feminism has made it equal. There's enough legislation and judicial things that have already come about. There's enough things to where men are afraid to even be around a woman now. And women are complaining where men are anyway. But there's no balance right now. So the fact of the matter is I gotta ask you the question of what man hurts you to want to try to make Star Wars like all female? It kinda doesn't make no sense. Like the fact that you made twins with 2 women using the Force, that's technically not even conceiving. That's just magical creation. You made a homologous. Like it just don't make.
It don't make sense.
Yeah. So again, have nothing against you. You can keep continuing to make this and think that you're doing something nice, but the numbers actually show it. I prefer you and every director that's a part of the woke agenda or modern day culture, whatever you want to call this nonsense. If you're going to be a part of established company or just any storyline that's already established that has great return on investment, has loyal fans and everything else, find an empty spot in that universe, see if it works. If it doesn't, that means something might be wrong with y'all and your take, and you might actually want to change it. So, you want to go on to the next topic?
Yeah, I'll go on to the next topic because they're stupid.
So, I guess, still in the Disney era, but should Marvel drop Blade?
Yes. No hesitation.
Okay, give some context, man.
You have the Blade. Kevin Feige, bless you, dude. You gave us a lot of good stuff in the Infinity Saga, and with Shang-Chi.
Was that really Kevin Feige? Did they have a director before him and Kevin Feige took over? So yeah. I'd probably have to give the
Russo brothers.
Yeah, the Russo or Russell brothers. It might actually be them, and Kevin Feige just kind of took over the helm because remember, Kevin Feige's been pandering a lot to the unfortunately female directors.
Yeah, but he also was involved. Like he also played a part in Winter Soldier. So I'm gonna praise him.
I'll give him 30%.
I'll praise him on that. But anyway, who did a bunch of movies and stuff like that. But a bunch of the time that he came on San Diego Comic-Con, where he displayed a bunch of movies from Fantastic Four, from Captain America movie, from the Thunderbolts, and the Blade movie. I'm gonna just tell you, like, Kevin Feige, please do them a favor. Just drop the movie. People, and if you're wondering why, this is the second or third director who just says, nope, I'm out of here. And to make matters worse, Wesley Snipes is laughing the fact that nobody wants to do it. Even the original director, I don't know how you say it, it's Guillermo or something like that, who did the original Blade 1 and 2, he's laughing at them. And the actor for Deacon Frost, he's laughing at them as well. So it's like, you might as well.
Okay, so here's my question, right? They've already said that Kevin Feige is a traitor. All the evidence is out there, the tea has been spilled and everything else. And it started with She-Hulk. People weren't really looking at it, but now as things went by, enough evidence has came by, and it's kind of like, wow, he's not as well as we thought. To use some counter stuff into it, Kevin Feige, as well as Brie Larson, the woman that plays She-Hulk, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman and one other person are directors on Deadpool x Wolverine, right? Or Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
They have been trying to get everything that they want into that movie, and Ryan Reynolds, for the most part, is going, no, stay down. It's already been reported that they've been complaining to Disney and everything else. The problem is they know Ryan Reynolds is good. Ryan Reynolds is going to make them money. Marvel has not been making them money for a while. But on an even more simplistic note, the original movies from Captain America, the first one, all the way up to Avengers, Endgame. The reason, well, you know what? No, I won't even say Endgame. I would say midway in. We used to only get 2 movies a year.
Mm-hmm.
That means y'all were taking y'all sweet time, making sure everything worked. Y'all made sure the writing was on point. Everything was great. I believe it's greed. Because as much money it might take to make some of this stuff, y'all started pumping out more movies, but even more so, more TV shows. And it's kind of like, you're spreading yourself thin. The quality is going away. And you can tell that. Like, there's no effort. Like, I hate to say it, because I liked a lot of Marvel series. I liked a lot of them. But honestly, Moon Knight was the best one. Moon Knight had so much detail and information and everything into it. The worst one was Echo. I don't know what they did with that. Like, and I made sure I watched reviewers and everything based off of Echo, trying to understand it. I don't know how they could make that. No heat or shade thrown towards the actress, because she did what she was supposed to do. It was based off of Daredevil season 1 or 2 and everything else. Like, there were some cool moments on like how everything happened, but it's just, it wasn't good. Miss Marvel was actually great. I actually liked it. I'm not the target audience for that. It's high school girls. Mm-hmm. But just as a comic fan and it being an origin story and how everything works, it was actually not that bad. But Moon Knight was great. Kate Bishop was great. The What Ifs, I know I'm now using a cartoon, but even that still had decent writing.
Loki and WandaVision were like...
they were the top.
They were the tops.
They were the top. But Loki and WandaVision was an establishment that was still connected to the movies. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about like just on their own. Moon Knight is the best.
Oh, on their own.
Yeah. So, but I think y'all are just wearing yourselves thin. And Kevin Feige, I mean, stop pandering. Like, if you're into DEI and everything else, that is cool, but you should know better that you get diversity when you don't force it. There doesn't need to be a black person, an Asian person, a Spanish person in every scene, in every shot. There's going to be some scenarios, like for instance, what is it, Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're going to see a black guy all over the screen because Falcon is the main person.
Yep.
The Dora Milaje is connected to Winter Soldier, White Wolf, and there's information that ties into that. So you got to actually look at like, okay, why are you putting certain things in there? The reason why you get T'Challa's personal guards going after White Wolf is because first of all, he was the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
But second of all, Winter Soldier was in Wakanda. So it makes sense why there's so much of that there. But guess what? When White Wolf is talking to them, oh wow, we have a black female and we have a white guy. Where's the black male at? You don't need to have him in there because there's no point. You don't even need to have an extra walking past the screen. You don't need none of that. Because eventually you're going to see Falcon again.
Mm-hmm.
Certain scenes and scenarios don't have to have it. Like, just at the end of the day, make it make sense. Don't push it in. It might be a good idea. Oh, this would be great for the audience. Majority of your audience don't want it.
No,
just
don't.
Make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I don't even know what's the next TV show coming out from Marvel.
I don't even know either. I kind of stopped like.
Yeah, X-Men '97. I can't lie, it was great.
Season 2 is like next year.
Yeah, I mean we talked about that one already, kind of in detail. So.
But like, yeah, they should just drop the Blade movie because so many people are leaving. I'm like, I believe the actor he was like a bit disappointed, like trying to film it. I'm just like, you might as well just.
So my only question is if you have so many directors leaving, is that because they're trying to push some form of agenda? Which at the end of the day, that would be Disney and Kevin Feige.
Most likely, I think they want to push some type of agenda towards it, and the director was like probably the director like, man, hell no. He's like, I ain't doing this.
Yeah, it must be drastic because here's the thing, right? There is no cross-gender Blade.
Nope.
Blade is a black man. Part vampire. He ain't biracial.
Nope.
He ain't that man is pure black man.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting vampires. So you know what? I'll just go ahead and say it. They need to give all of this back to Netflix to do.
That would actually be kind of dope as well because Netflix was the one who did Daredevil. They're the ones who did Luke.
They're the ones that did
Jessica Jones.
Yep.
They're the ones that did Punisher
and they did. Here's the thing: Iron Fist 1 sucked, but Iron Fist 2 wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
But
I tell people, Daredevil season 2 was like the best season of them all because not only Daredevil was great, but when you introduced the Punisher, who I believe that was Thomas Jane Punisher was dope for an origin movie. And rest in peace, Ray Stevenson for Punisher Warzone, even though he was more bigger, more violent. I'm like, that's how Punisher kind of is. But this dude, I believe he was on Walking Dead, who did the Punisher for...
Yeah.
Who did the Punisher, he was
great.
Amazing. And I'm just like, keep him.
Well, here's my reason why, right? Disney and everything that they try to do is rated G. It's rated E for everyone. Netflix is rated R to X or NA-17 or NC-17. That's what you need. People don't realize this, but Marvel's comics are actually way darker than what people realize, and everybody's trying to put these Cinderella shoes on some of this stuff with some of the things. Moon Knight, honestly, as great as it is on Disney Plus, it would have been 1,000 times better on Netflix or the way they would have did it, because there would be no rating. It would be as violent as it needs to be, because it is violent. It's Batman with violence cranked to like 15.
Yeah.
So So any other TV series that's supposed to be coming out, which I think the next one is Falcons, right? Or is that a movie?
I think that's after the Deadpool and Wolverine with Hugh Jackman. When you say Ryan Reynolds knocking on Disney's door, Hugh Jackman, you already know he's knocking on their door as well. Even though they say he's gonna be Wolverine, people say, "Oh, he's too tall." I'm like, man, he did a good job of Wolverine.
Oh, come on, let's be totally honest. He plays sexy Wolverine the way he's supposed to.
Oh, look.
It ain't lore accurate. He's not 5'3", 250 pounds of feral muscle. It just don't look right. You know why? Is because when Hugh Jackman actually played Wolverine, women came to see comic movies. Let's be totally honest. Over 6 feet tall. We already know what we're talking about with that demographic. He has muscles and he has an asshole bad boy approach. Smokes cigarettes, does his own thing, walks his own beat. And let's not forget, in the Fox movies, that man was literally fighting with the leader of the X-Men to get some tail from Jean Grey. So he was even going after another man's woman. The literal fantasy or the illusion of what women want when it comes down to that. I don't like to say stuff like that because it technically can go both ways, but that's literally what this Wolverine was for a lot of people.
It was.
Or, you know, when it comes down to that. He's sexy Wolverine. Did a good job. But
anyway.
We got a few more. The biggest one. Or one of the biggest ones to actually come out. The end of Adobe. Or at least that's what you call it.
Here's the thing. I already talked about this with me and my friends. We did a little stream video. But I want to pass it on Jen, his reaction. With Adobe, what's going on, with the fact that they saying that he knows that I use Photoshop, he knows that I like to use Audition, Adobe Premiere to do like editing and stuff like that. With the fact that they just announced that they will basically own your crap, your art, home, blood, sweat, and tears to your art, whether it's to just make it for yourself, whether it's to sell it for somebody who paid you for it. And now they're saying that they own it now. I'm going to pass it on to him to get his reaction, but do you think...
I thought you was going to talk more about like the random hidden charges that for stealing money, and the government is literally getting on their case about it.
And that too. And
I didn't know they would do it. So here's the thing, right? Adobe, you pay for a subscription to use their service. You are not an employee of Adobe. So they do not have the right to take ownership of anything you make. Now, what I'm curious on is, because Adobe is a tech company, if they're working with AI in any regards, if they're trying to say, oh, we can use this because we can feed the algorithm so they can make more stuff, because I don't know if you know this, but AI has been firing a lot of people. I'm not going to say companies. AI has been firing a lot of people. It's not as heavy here, but in the UK, holy shit. But I do know that it's starting to trickle down here because people have been complaining about that also. But yeah, it's just not possible. That's like Canva saying, oh, any planners or anything that you do, we're just going to use for our own purposes, and we're going to make that into a template so it can be charged on our pro membership type of thing. They can't do it is because there's such a thing as creative freedom. Like, I can draw a rose outside and make it look a little bit different. There's no company that's going to come in and be like, we like this rose, we're going to take it from you and use it for ourselves. There's consequences to that. And Adobe's already getting it. So, while it is a big thing, because first of all, I'm wondering if somebody was just too stupid to not realize, like, yo, this is stealing.
Yes.
Any person that has a license, because I'm sure if they're saying they're going to take, your images, that means they were already doing it. there's going to be a multi-class action lawsuit, and this is just my theory. Multi-class action lawsuit, like always. People that pay for Creative Suite and Adobe, because you know they got some people that got the jailbroken versions. Mm-hmm. Well, even them probably. I don't even know. If they trace wherever the artwork comes from, they are most likely going to be getting a random paycheck in the mail. But the biggest thing is the government's on your case because you're charging egregious fees. I heard that some of these fees was just like $200
for a cancellation fee. Yeah,
like.
And the government found out about it, and they was like, "What?"
You know why? Because they use it too.
Yep. Most likely they probably will. And not only that, not many people notice Hollywood uses it too as well.
Yeah.
Adobe After Effects is like basically the big one for Star Wars. Adobe Premiere is one of the editing softwares that they use. I use it. If I had the money, I would use that. Or even Final Cut. They use people don't realize like they use Final Cut.
At the end of the day, this is literally the epitome of greed. Turning this ugly head around, like, is greed. Like Microsoft and Windows operating system, the major editing software, and the thing about it is not just major. You might as well say it's almost like a license for most companies. It's kind of like, hey, do you know how to use Creative Suite? Okay, you filled out this application? All right, we'll look at you. Like, people use your stuff like Microsoft operating system.
Yep.
You don't need to be this greedy. It just kills me on how greedy people are. Like, when it comes down to it. Granted, I want more money, you want more money, a lot of people in the world want more money. But when you already have a good thing going, and you just putting paywalls around everything, you have hidden fees and all this other crap going on, it's kind of like, yo, man, like, you're not hurting. What are you doing? Unless, another speculation, something happened within Adobe that screwed up, and they're trying to find ways to make quick money off of people.
Probably that.
You know, but you sent me a picture, let's see. It was a picture that was sent to me by you back on, where is this? It was on Monday, and the stock dropped down only 1.25%, but it's going to drop heavy.
It's like
where is it at now?
I saw the recent stock. I'm like, I'm put it on screen. I'm gonna compare it for Monday.
Because this one you showed me was 518.74.
Yeah, the last time I saw it, it kind of went back up again, but then now I saw it slowly going back down. So it's like,
that's because not everybody knows about it yet, and people are starting to pick up and talk about it.
But people who uses it, including myself, who joined like an artist group on Facebook and on Instagram, a bunch of them saying that. A bunch of them are canceling it, and everybody's like, we need to find alternatives. I tell people, if you want an alternative to Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro. If you want a freaking alternative for Photoshop, there's GIMP, and there's a few other ones. If you want something else for Adobe After Effects, there's Blender. If you want something else for Audition, they have. Go old school with it, GarageBand or anything other stuff like that.
He will put the links to all of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a picture to show you all the alternatives to make sure that your stuff, your hard-earned stuff, will not be used to sell. Will not be used for them to make money off of it. And they say, "Oh, we own it." I'm like, everything's going crazy right now.
Yeah, I mean. Personally, for me, because I love the creative aspect of it, and granted, it is a little bit more primitive, I like using Canva. I don't have Pro, but I know how to use other conversion software to bring stuff into it, whether it's a vector or whatever else. I like being able to make stuff. I made my own placemats. If any of y'all play Unstable Unicorns, I actually made my own placemats. Maybe next time I'll actually show them off. But we talked about a lot, but I want to get back into some of the gaming stuff because it got a little too serious, a little too heated. I'm not apologetic or unapologetic to any of it. No, I'm not apologetic to any of it. What I said is how I actually feel, and unfortunately, it's not a bad take. I'm being fair, to be totally honest with you. A lot of y'all just like you just want them to burn to the ground.
They deserve to be burned. But to our last topic, is this gonna? I know how you feel.
I'm going to talk about fighting games, man.
So I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that for the last topic. I know how you feel about remasters and remakes.
No, only remasters.
I know how you feel about remasters, but we saw a trailer that was on the Xbox. I don't know why it's not PlayStation. Of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Yeah. We
saw how it is, but here is the question for you. Graphically, totally different. Gameplay, totally different. However, the audio is the same recording from its predecessor, from Metal Gear 3. They just grabbed the same recording and putting it there. Do you think Metal Gear 3 is a remake or just a very good remaster?
Remake. Biggest things that make it a remake is, remember, a remake is a one-to-one. It's not a one-to-one. Once you start changing CGI or scenes, even if it's the same dialogue, you've changed it in a way that possibly is more appealing. But the biggest one is going to be battle system. If it was roguelike where it was top down and now you made it third person, slightly behind the back or over the shoulder or whatever else, that automatically is going to change gameplay, meaning other aspects of it is going to change as well. And that all is going to include button layout and everything else. So that automatically makes it a remake. Final Fantasy VII to Final Fantasy VII Remake. They changed it completely. So, it went from all type of weird different views with chibi block spiky haired Cloud to where now you got, and it was a completely turn-based system to where now the game natively is a RTS, but you can turn it into a turn-based system, but you literally can roam around the whole field and everything else. That you actually have depth perception and everything else better than what it was. Everything's changed about it. And here's the thing, the way they the Metal Gear Solid wasn't so old to where you couldn't tell a scene from a scene even if it was an HD remaster, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at Final Fantasy VII, let's take Don Corneo or Cornelius or whatever his name is, the one that wanted Tifa.
Yeah.
Or technically Cloud.
Yeah.
I want you to think about how simplistic that whole interaction is, even though it was a nice little segment of the game, and then when you play Remake, how detailed that was and everything you had to do all that. It's a remake. Like it, hands down. Once you said the battle system was different and everything else.
Yeah, because Metal Gear 3, from just by looking at the gameplay, it plays like Metal Gear Solid 5. Like gameplay, from the way it looks, it played like Metal Gear Solid 5, which is the last one, the Phantom Pain. And Metal Gear 3, we saw how it played. I compared it to 2, and I'm like, yeah, it's playing like Metal Gear 5. I'm like, definitely. But I see a lot of people saying that, oh, this is just a remaster because they kept the dialogue. And it's like they say that the cutscenes, they say they're gonna stay the same. But I'm just
no, they're not.
I told them, I said they might keep the dialogue, but I'm like, if the gameplay is different and it's visually way bigger than different.
What gaming platform did Metal Gear Solid come out on? The one that's coming out. It's 3, right?
Yeah, it's 3.
So which console did that come on?
It came on Xbox's showcase.
No, the old one.
Oh, the old one's was on the PlayStation 2.
Okay. I want people to realize PlayStation 2 had decent graphics for its time, and that just depends on how much TLC was put in from the developers. But back then, it was 480p at best. at best, we are now pushing, well, technically 8K, but for all intents and purposes, 4K. They're going to change the way the scenes are, the way it interacts and everything. It's very easy to change movement and CGI and keep the dialogue. So it's not going to be a direct one-to-one because unless it's just dynamic enough to where it is a one-to-one, we don't know. It's still just a theory. But at the end of the day, dialogue aside, when you change gameplay, it's a remake. like remember, now that Marvel's Capcom Collections that came out, I literally have all the evidence I need when I say a continuing series. When they made the game, Marvel vs. Series is the epitome of what remakes are, and they didn't do it with just and it's literally through gameplay.
Yeah.
Children of Coda, the first one, 6-button layout, bare bone, 1v1. Then you go to what was it, Marvel Superheroes.
Yeah.
That's when they added the gem system. So now the gems could do something. You don't see gems later on until Marvel's Capcom Infinite, but you get X-Men versus Street Fighter. Now you have crossover, tag team, or duel, but you can't switch them. One dies, the next one comes in. What was the next one? Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter? Is that the next one?
Was it?
You know what? We're just gonna go with that one for now. No, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. Then, literally, it's you have them. Everything is still a 6-button layout though, but they were adding little features here and there. Oh, that's what it was. They added that tag system thing that later on went into Marvel 1. It was like a weird, like, kind of,
I forgot what
I believe
it was.
I know it's in Marvel 1 where it's the dual combination when you can have both people and there's unlimited supers and everything else. If I'm correct, that was in Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. I'm not sure, but I believe it was. But what Marvel vs. Capcom brought was assist.
Yeah, the assist system.
Now you got 2 people, but you got a random assist. Then what happens? Marvel 2, 3v3. Marvel 2, 3v3, 4-button system. Everything was 6 buttons from then. It goes into a 4-button system. And when I mean 4 buttons, I'm not talking about the additional, but because you made a tag team, light and medium and now was together on both punches and kicks. And then you had heavy punch and heavy kick, and you just used your directional inputs on if it was going to do something different or not as far as with the input. But you had to make space for your tag system when it came down to controllers. So it was macro to a button, but you could easily just press 2 buttons to call out the assist, but that was on controller. But and then Marvel 3, 4-button game. 3 attack buttons that just are streamlined, a launcher button, and 2 assists. And then it became universally popular after that.
Yeah. Until
Marvel Infinite, which pays homage to Marvel Superheroes with the Infinity Stones or gems, just in a different way. 2v2 with an active tag system, which is pretty damn fun. And online. Well, good online. Actually had rollback netcode. Because Marvel 3s was under the water.
Yeah, and if I like how on the Marvel Capcom Collection, like during this like it literally says rollback nickel on the way on the. I was like.
I already spoke to Soul. He said if that has rollback on Marvel 2, he ain't playing no other game.
No, it said it on the bottom.
So we already know.
He ain't playing
no other game.
He ain't play because I literally I said oh snap! I said they're bringing it back. Next thing I see on the bottom, they said rollback netcode. I'm like. I was like, oh.
And if I'm correct, he plays MSS or MSP. I'm the person that plays Team Low Tier. So
at the moment I saw rollback, I was like, oh, sure. I said, if they say if it was only on the if it was exclusive on the Switch, I'm like Nintendo. I said, put that damn thing put that game on freaking Evo, put it on CEO. I said, you're gonna make money right off the bat like that. I said, you're gonna make money if you put if it was exclusive for the Switch, and it said rollback netcode. I'm like, you're gonna make money.
Yeah, I was gonna have to buy a Switch.
You said you was gonna have to buy a Switch if.
Look, there's only 2 games I ever wanted. I want Tatsunoko vs. Capcom back. I already know that's a fever pitch dream. Mm-hmm. Even if they just port that one over, it's not coming back. And the fact that you have Marvel 2, let's be totally honest. Nintendo might have showcased it, which is great. Mm-hmm. It was never going to be on just Nintendo.
It wasn't.
There would have been a mutiny. So
there would have been riots or something. There would probably been a riot. But the moment I said it cannot. Even Maximilian dude, he's like, it cannot be exclusive to the Switch. Because he said then I have to go run to Target or Walmart or order on Amazon just to get a Switch just to play. I was like,
my problem is I would have to buy a Switch and buy the Hori specific fight stick for the Switch. Because I ain't playing that on that horrible Joy-Con controller.
Or even though the Pro controller is, I had to test it out to see how.
Sir, I use fight sticks.
Yeah, you use fight sticks.
Yeah, but definitely happy Juneteenth to everybody. But guys, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely leave comments because we always want to know what you thought about the topics that we talked about today, and just let us know about some other stuff that y'all would like for us to talk about. We're always doing research. We're always watching things, so we definitely want to get your take on it. Every topic that we've talked about today, definitely give us your opinion, guys. Everything is always valued. And there is no wrong take. It's just preference. Remember that. But this G Innovation signing off, guys.
This is Power Trick. See y'all in the future.
Peace.